Good morning. Today our lesson is about adding and subtracting fractions. In this lesson we are going to review how to add and subtract like and unlike fractions and to add and subtract mixed numbers. Now let's refresh our memory. What is the lowest common multiple of these numbers? 3 and 4, the lowest common multiple is 12. 5 and 6 is 30. 4 and 6 is, some of you are going to say 24, but it's not 24 because it's not the lowest common multiple. Both of them can be 12. 4 times 3 is 12 and 6 times 2 is 12, so it's the lowest common multiple. 3 and 8 is 24. 5 and 10, 5 can be 10 by multiplying it by 2, so the lowest common multiple is 10. Now here it's related to the equivalent fractions. Find the missing numbers. As you can see, 5 turns to become 15, so you multiplied it by 3. So what you do down, you have to do it up. So 2 times 3 is 6. 8 to be 40, you multiply it by 5. So you multiply up and down by 5. So it's going to be 15. The missing number is 15. Finally, 5 is 25. You multiply it by 5. So 6 times 5 is 30. Now, what is a fraction? A fraction is a part of a whole, or it can be a part of a set. Knowing that, we can take the pizza to compare it with the cupcakes. For example, we can say one pizza out of 12 cupcakes. They are not related to each other. Now, can you name the parts of the fraction? The one which is at the top, up, it's called numerator. The one which is down, it's D, it's called denominator. Now, in comparing fraction, the greater will have the larger amount of the whole shaded, which means the less denominator will have the greater number. Here are some exercises. When you have the same numerator, you can compare the denominators, or you can cross multiply. For example, 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 10 is 10, so 10 is greater than 5, so the first one is greater than the others. And you can solve the other exercises by the same method, and here is the answer key for them. Now here, when we are adding like fractions, since they have the same denominator, I can add easily. I don't do anything with the denominator, so I will say 5 over 7 and not 5 over 14, and then we will do normally. Knowing that 6 over 2 can be simplified by 3 to be 2 over 3. Now here, subtracting like fractions is the same idea as adding fractions, like fractions, but you just subtract. Since they have the same denominator, you can say 2 over 7 and not 2 over 0, which is impossible. 2 over 9, 2 over 11. Now when we have unlike fractions, which means they don't have the same denominator, you have to try your best to make them have the same denominator before adding. So here you search for the lowest common multiple, because since 5 can be 10, instead of multiplying them saying 5 times 10 is 50, you can do an easier method by taking the lowest common multiple, which is 5 times 2. Since 10 is not changed, you keep it the same, and you just change the fraction that you multiplied it. So we changed the denominator into 10. Since we changed it into 10, it means we multiplied by 2. So 2 times 2 is 4 over 10. Now we can add them since they have the same denominator, so it will be 7 over 10. Same idea. Here 3 can be 12, so the lowest common multiple is 12. You multiply it by 4. 3 times 4 is 12. We've got the same denominator, which is 12, so we multiplied by 4. So 1 times 4 is 4, and then we add 9 over 12. 9 over 12 can be simplified by 3, so the answer will be 3 over 4. Now here there is no number to multiply it by 3 to give you 5, so you will check the lowest common multiple between 3 and 5 is 15. So 1 over 3, you will change it, and 1 over 5 should be changed. 1 over 3, you have to multiply it by 5 to become 15. So the answer will be 5 over 15. While the second one, you multiply it by 3, and then it will give you 3 over 15. Now what we get is 5 over 15 plus a 3 over 15 will give you 8 over 15. Now to solve this one, we also need to make sure that they have the same denominator. To do this, since 5 cannot be 6, so you have to make sure that you have both of them in the 5 and 6 times table, they have the same number, which is 30. So you multiply the first fraction by 6 and the second fraction by 5 up and down. You will get 30, so 2 times 6 is 12, 3 times 5 is 15. Now we've got 27 over 30, and then we can simplify it by 3 to get 9 over 10, which is 0.9. Now let's remember what's a mixed number. A mixed number is the number where we write a whole number and a fraction at the same time. 2 and 3 over 4. 11 over 4 is improper fraction. So 11, since the numerator is greater than the denominator, so it can be written as a mixed number. 2, 3 over 4, how can I convert it into improper fractions? I multiply 2 times 4, and then I add it by the numerator, which is a 3. Always the mixed number and its improper fraction, they have the same denominator, no change. Now, how to change an improper fraction into a mixed number? We do it first by division. For example, 11 over 2, we just divide 11 over 2. Or in other words, how many 2's are there in 11? So we have 5. So the answer will be 5 remainder 1. How can I put it? I will put 5, which is the quotient, as the whole number, remainder 1 over the denominator is going to stay 2 as it is. So it will be 5 and 1 over 2. How can I make sure that my answer is correct? I keep the denominator the same, and I will say 5 times 2 is 10 plus 1 is 11. So 11 over 2, my answer is correct. Now how I add mixed numbers? You can take the whole parts together and the fractions together. Here's 3 plus 1 are the whole parts, so it's 4. 2 plus 4 over 5, I can add it easily because they have the same denominator, which is 5. So 6 over 5. We notice that the numerator is greater than the denominator, which means I can convert it into a mixed number to write it in the simplest form. Instead of writing 4 and 6 over 5, I will write 6 over 5 as a mixed number, which is 1 and 1/5. So 4 plus 1 and 1 over 5, it's gonna be 5. I added the whole parts, and I will keep the fraction 1 over 5. Same thing for the fraction, subtracting mixed numbers. 8 5 over 9 minus 6 1 over 9. 8 minus 6 is 2. I can do it easily. 5 over 9 minus 1 over 9, I can simplify it easily. First, because they have the same denominator. Second, because 5 over 9, which is at the beginning, is greater than 1 over 9, so I don't have any problem in subtraction. Now here, if you are going to add or subtract mixed numbers having different denominators, you just take the whole parts together, either in addition or in subtraction, and then you can make a common denominator for the others. As you can see, 5 and 3, the common denominator is 15, so you multiply by 3 for the first fraction, by 5 for the second one, and then you'll get the answer and put the whole number. This one is the same. Also, you will make a common denominator. It's 21, and then you multiply the first one by 7, second one by 3. You will get the answer, and then you subtract normally to get 2 and 11 over 21. Other students are going to do like this method to change into improper fraction and then choose a common denominator like we did here, but it's gonna take a lot of time, especially with the large numbers, and then you are going to convert it into mixed number again. So I don't recommend, just add fractions together and whole numbers together, it's easier. Now to do this, since we don't have any problem with the fraction 3 over 4 is greater than 1 over 6, I can work normally. I can subtract the whole numbers first. 13 minus 11 is 2. And then 3 over 4 minus 1 over 6, I will search for the lowest common multiple, which is 12, instead of taking 24, and then we will do a lot of simplifications at the end. So what we got is this one. And then we subtract normally 9 minus 2 over 12, which because they have the same denominator. So the answer will be 2 and 7 over 12. Now, in this case, if the first fraction is less than the second one in subtracting mixed numbers, you have two methods to solve it. The first method is to convert it into improper fraction. As you can see, 1 over 2 is less than 7 over 8. So you have to convert it into improper fractions. You will get this one, and then you will get the same denominator by multiplying by 4 for the first fraction. After that, you subtract to get 13 over 8, and then you divide 13 by 8 to get 1 and 5 over 8 as a mixed number. Now, the second method is to do regrouping, which means borrowing from the whole number. Here, 1 over 9 is smaller than 5 over 9. They have the same denominator, so it was easily compared. So you have to borrow from the 8. 8 becomes 7, and it gives her 1. When it gives her 1, it's wrong to say 2 over 9, because this one is not a fraction, it's a whole part. So this one means, since the denominator is 9, so as a whole it's gonna be 9 over 9. So the new number will be 7 and 1 over 9 plus 9 over 9. 9 over 9 is the one whole that I took it from 8. So you will get 7, 10 over 9 minus 6, 5 over 9, and then you can subtract easily. Now, when you are going to subtract a mixed number from a whole number, it's not like addition, because in addition, we don't have any problem. We add the whole numbers and put the fraction at the end, no problem. But in subtraction, if the first number is a whole, it doesn't have a fraction to subtract from it. So we will consider that this fraction will be 0 over 4. So 0 over 4 is smaller than 1 over 4. I will do it by regrouping. I will borrow from 8. It's gonna be 7. I will add on 0 over 4. I will add 4 over 4 because the next denominator is 4. So the best choice is to put it as over 4, because 7 and 4 over 4 are going to give you 8. So it's the same. And then you will subtract normally. Now, as a summary, we took how to add and subtract the fractions. You should have the same denominator, and don't forget to simplify at the end. And that's your assignment for today. If you want to solve extra exercises at the end of this video, there are exercises with their answer keys. Now evaluate yourself by solving 2 extra sheets, and at the end you have the answer keys. This is for your self-evaluation. Don't forget to simplify the answers. Extra exercises about adding and subtracting mixed numbers. Don't forget to simplify your answers. This is the answer key for the first extra sheet. And here is the final answer key. Please be honest while correcting.